Yo YouTube, what's up? Welcome back to the Bearded Boomer. This is going to be episode 5 of the series Bearded Boomer Learning Tarkov. And last time we were talking about making some rubles, and I showed you guys a bunch of routes on customs where you can successfully just farm up some items, farm up some rubles. But maybe you've come to the conclusion that, customs is actually, while it is one of the beginner maps in Tarkov, it is definitely also a pretty spicy map at times because there's a lot of bottlenecks and there's a lot of dangerous positions on that map where it's going to be rough to cross. So maybe you've been running into some unfortunate events, you've been dying a little bit. That's why I'm going to show you a second way of making money in Tarkov. And we're going to be doing that on a completely different map with a completely different strategy. So without any more intro, let's dive right into it, guys. Let's quickly go over the basics. What we're going to do is we're going to try to grab a big rig again. We're going to try and grab as big of a backpack as we can because we want to drag as much loot as we can find out of there with us. Go in there with like an easy setup, like a nice SKS. If you can get an OP SKS to get a scope on there, that's good because we're going to be doing this on woods. And on woods, of course, it's always going to be good to be able to fight at a distance. So this is a pretty good option for it, but still, if you're really strapped for cash and you don't have anything, you can still pistol run this because it's all about the loot. We're not going there for the PvP. We basically only need to be able to deal with scavs because once we run into a player, there is a pretty big chance that we're, not going to make it. Now, when it comes to setup, guys, there's one small difference than there is to our run on customs. We're going to be wanting to put some money into our safe container. And the reason for that is that there is a good chance that we're going to be taking the vehicle extract that is available on woods, which I will show you about later. But that vehicle extract is going to cost you about 5k rubles, depending on your scav rep and stuff like that. But just slam a bunch of money in your safe container. The nice thing about it is whichever rubles you find during the raid, you can just slam onto this pile and, get more money in your bag. But this is the basic setup that I'm going to be running. I just have a Salewa kit, I have some basic meds on me, some money in my gamma container, and some spare ammo for the SKS. Okay, so we're going to be loading into woods. Now, if you've gotten lucky enough and somehow you have found night vision, because when you have level 1 traders, that is not just readily available to you. But let's say that you've been dabbling around in some night raids, you accidentally killed a player, you stole his night vision, and you have it available. This is a very good strat to do on night raids. Reason for it is nobody plays woods night raids. There's hardly people in those lobbies. They're completely empty. And the thing is, you can just run around, pick up all the loot, get out, reset, and do it again. And okay, sometimes you will run into some people and you will die from time to time, but your survival rate is going to be so high that you're always going to be flipping a profit on these raids. And then again, if you don't really have night vision available, I definitely wouldn't recommend doing this during the night without night vision because you're gonna get lost, you're gonna get confused, you're gonna get scared, you're gonna be a lost little girl in the woods, and it's not gonna work out. So if you don't have that available, just go in during the daytime raid and you'll be fine. There is a chance that you'll die a little bit more often, but still try to be quiet. If you see other players, try to not engage, try to sneak around. This is all about being a loot goblin. This is not about anything else. Just put that in your mind. The objective here is money. The objective is not PvP. We are working on becoming a PvP Chad later, but it is not right now. Be zen and get rich. On the map right now, guys, you can see all 3 of the main areas that we will be looting during this video. It's going to be Scav Bunker, Abandoned Village, aka Sunken Town, and the Scav Town. Those are the 3 that we're going to be hitting up, and then hopefully we'll be getting out at Bridge Car Extract if it is up, if it is available. Otherwise, we're going to have to move down to the map and find some of the other extracts, depending on the ones you got, which also depends on your spawn. That could be Northern UN Roadblock, which isn't too bad because it's pretty close to Scav Town. It could be UN Roadblock, which is further down, but a lot of the time it's also going to be ZB14 or Outskirts, and that one is a little bit annoying because that is going to have you trekking around the map and just basically probably going around the outside because that's the safest route, and then ending up here or ending up at Outskirts. Now, let's get into the video and let me show you where the actual loot spawns are. This is going to be one of the 3 places that we're going to hit up on these runs, guys. You can recognize it easily. This is Scav Bunker. It has like this big mast right here. Very recognizable, easy to spot. Several containers, like you can't really miss this once you're in the vicinity of it. There's a bunch of regular loot spawns, like there's a chest right here. There's a little grenade chest right here. There's another crate there. There's also a bunch of like food spawns randomly around. Like here you can see a Moonshine spawn. Definitely check that out. And then the reason we're actually here is the actual bunker itself. So go in. A bunch of regular loot, like there's a bag right here. There's always some food spawns on the table over here. There's a little case here. That always has some fun stuff in it. Well, usually it's just a bunch of stuff that you need for your hat and anyway. You can check these. You can check tick spawns over here. But then the main reason we are here is there is a rare spawn on this cupboard right here. Right next to here. And then I believe one here as well, but I'm not 100% sure about that one. But I am sure that there is one under this bed here. And you can see where this little chainlet is. So definitely check that out. You have a little vest that you can check. This is also a table that spawns food and drink on it. So that's another potential Moonshine spawn. And there's another bag right here. So this is a high density loot area. So with these runs, we're mainly going to be focused on high value spawns like gold spawns and high value food spawns. And then coming out of Scav Bunker, we're going to run up to the next little thing. You can see more containers over there. That's the next spot we're going to check. It has a couple of Moonshine spots and some general decent loot spots. So also, we're passing through here anyway on our way to the next thing. So there's a big crate right here. There's a couple of ammo spawns on this table right here and in the box, as you can see. The spot right here where you see the sugar, this is also a food spawn. It can spawn Moonshine, so check it out. The table here can spawn food as well. And then we're checking that little bunker over here. There's a case here, food spawns, and a grenade case and an ammo spawn. Also, in this corner, it can spawn armors. So if you're strapped on armors early on, you can definitely hit this spot up and see if you can find some easy armors. A lot of the time, it's just going to be pack of armors, but you never know when you get a rare spawn. Then when we're done with that, we're going to be moving up to the sunken village area on the map, which you can already see over there. And this is the moneymaker. This is where all of our profit on these runs is going to come from, because this little area is super condensed with rare spawns. It's going to have so many gold spawns, so many spawns for potential things like lions, golden roosters, bitcoins, GP coins, all of that stuff. And there is a massive amount of spawns right here. So you walk in here, there's already a toolbox right here that you can loot. Get in here. Check these. These have food and ammo spawns. Always worth it to check. Definitely check this crate. This one is a bit tricky because under here, like where I'm looking right now, under those things, there can be things like gold chains, GP coins, bitcoins. So you want to carefully take a look around this thing. And then there's also a ground spawn over there. There's nothing here right now. So let's move on to the next spot. Check this table outside here. You can have vodka, you can have Moonshine. This little boat, this is probably one of the things that most people overlook, but there's actually 3 separate gold spawns in this little boat. There's one here in the front, one in the middle, and then one in the back as well. Of course, when I'm trying to make a YouTube video, none of the loot shows up, so you're just gonna have to take my word for it. Then we move in here. This little house, all 3 of these little bushes, here, here, and here, they all 3 have a gold spawn as well. Same thing as with the boat. It's a YouTube video. We're not getting footage, but take my word for it. I have found things in there like, I found lions in there. I found a GP coin in there so far. Definitely worth checking. Next spot. You can see all of this is super close together. Now, of course, you guys know that cultist circles can always have some good loot spawns, so be sure to check this one well. And the thing here is, it is not only on top of the cultist spawn that you can find the loot, but also in like the grass on the edges here. So carefully check around and then move on to the next one. Next house right here. Check the table for ammo spawns. This can also be other things like Moonshine, for example. In this little cupboard right here, there can be a gold spawn. I found, I haven't found any spectacular things there yet, but I have found horses there. And if horses can spawn, I'm assuming that more things can actually spawn. Now, this house is probably the only one that's not really worth checking it. I've never found anything decent in any of my runs in this one. So, I don't think this one's worth going into. Then moving on, that one is going to be another good one. Get in here, check the tent. As you can see, the chainlet spawn, that's another rare spawn right there. And the other corner of the tent also has one. And you also have the bag as a little bonus that you can loot here. And then we move on to the next one. That house has a secret stash in it, but next to the secret stash, and this is the thing that most people don't know, next to the secret stash, there's also a couple of rare spawns. So, unlike that piece of wood or that piece of wood, you can actually find some pretty sick spawns. So it's always worth it to just walk through and see if you can pick anything up. And then here is the hidden cache in this building. Wow, it's really giving me the good stuff for this YouTube video, guys. And then this little thing right here, what do you call it? The doorway, that is also a rare spawn, so you can also find stuff right there. Moving on to the church. But before you just recklessly head into the church, go here, turn around, and look down. You can see there's a horse right there. There's also a spawn in the middle of this boat, and there's a spawn on the outer right side as well. So always here, make sure, check your surroundings, of course. Make sure that you're safe, because this spot is pretty much out in the open, and if other players are going to see you, they are going to be able to hurt you pretty easily. But check it, because the dirty thing about this, and this is something, if you're doing night raids, is going to be even harder to see. There could be things like bitcoins and GP coins in here. But the thing is, you're not going to see them because they're underwater. So what you have to do is you have to sit here and you have to mouse through the area. And when that little white dot, that little white perception dot pops up, that means there's something there. And then you're just going to have to try and find the correct aim to pick up the item. Then we go into the church tower here. Again, making a YouTube video so the game's not showing me anything. Rare can spawn there, there, and then there's also two spawns back here and back there. I've already found a ton of gold chains, lions, golden roosters and stuff like that in this location, so definitely worth checking. Now, getting out of here can sometimes be tricky because if you're just standing up, there's no way you're getting out. If you're crouching and you're looking forward, still not working. So it took me a little bit to figure this out. Just look down. There we go. That's a quick little tip on the side. Right, as you guys can see, that is a ton of rare spawns and food spawns very close to each other in a very condensed area. That is actually most of the time not that contested because I don't think a lot of the player base knows about this already. So you're definitely not going to see people here too often because the places on this map that are going to be contested is usually around the lumber mill for the Sherman loot. And then maybe some of the med camp and stuff like that. But then this place, I don't encounter players here all too often. Now, When we're done looting this place, we're gonna move up to the last spot that we're gonna do on this run, and we're just gonna follow this road all the way to the little village on the other side. I'm gonna cut out the footage of me walking there because that is just boring, and I'll show you guys the loot spawns over there in just a second. Here we are. We have arrived at our last place that we're going to be looting for this video, which is going to be this little village. You have those 3 houses over there that are worth looting, and then there's also the car extract right there. That is going to be our out if it is up and available. So let's go check out where the loot spawns are in here. This first house we're going to run into has a bunch of good food spawns and also a rare spawn and a tech spawn. So let me show you where these are. There's also this little shed that you can do. There's a toolbox in here. There's always some food on the table right here. And then there's a big box right here. And then we shimmy on into this house. We slam the door in our own face. And then on here, you can already see it. There's some mayo right there. And this entire counter can actually spawn food items, which can often be purple food items as well, and purple food items are also decent value, especially because they're small. They only take up 1 slot. So things like condensed milk, that's not even a purple item, but like mayo, to a lesser extent sprats and stuff like that. The vodka on the table here, if there's a vodka, it can also be a moonshine. This couch has a spawn right here that can spawn a bunch of things. This time it was ammo. And then right here, in front of this box, in this box and in front of this box, there is a tech spawn. Right now, we got that summit phone right there. There's a bag right here. Okay, so the rare spawn in this house is actually under this bed. It's pretty much always worth checking on their beds here because that's apparently where the Tarkov people hide their valuables. And it can be pretty much anything. I found gold chains here. I found lions here. You could, if you're not too stressed about time, you can come up here. There's another bag right here. And then we're just going to go across the street. Now, take into account that this is an area that does spawn some scavs, so you might meet a little bit of resistance right here. You have the main house that we can loot, and there's also this back shed, which is useful to check. This right here, where this augmentine is right now, that can also be a moonshine spawn, so check that. There's a food spawn up here, like you can see. That was another rare food item. And then there is some tech items that we can find on these shelves right here, plus a toolbox. It can spawn all kinds of things. It can spawn like motors, all that stuff. Up here, there's also some fabric spawns. Like if you need fabric for some barter trades or something like that. You can always check the things outside here. There's some, for example, hose spawns. So if you need some stuff for like building your hideout and anything like that, check that out. There's a grenade case right here. And then in the house itself, always check this table. It can potentially have a moonshine spawn. Check this side. Check this thing because they can all have rare food spawns, which are good money. So we're going to check this little room. There's a bag right here. There's an ammo spawn on the bed. Oh. There's another bag right there. There's a grenade box right here. And this table is also a potential moonshine spawn. So, check it out. And let's go to the last house. The last house in this row is probably the lowest value one. But if you have the time and you're not, well, you're not too bothered, it's never bad to just check it because there's a toolbox right there. So toolbox right here. If you come in, there's going to be... This has a couple of potential food spawns for purple items. There's a bag right here. Then there's also food spawns on this cabinet right here. On the table, you can see a sugar right there. There's also food spawns in here. And it can also spawn a couple of armors. So again, if you're looking for armors, this is also a spot that can be helpful. For example, if you're doing the quest where you need like a couple of white armors, this is definitely a good house to check because I've seen them in here a lot of the time. There's 2 beds in here. I've never really found anything under here, but I still check because, you know, beds do seem to be a thing. But I have found loot under this bed before. It's only been horses so far, so nothing too spectacular, but you know, worth checking anyway. And then this is the outside. You could go all the way back there. There's another toolbox back there, but that's your choice. And then when you're done doing all that, you just run up to the bridge and you do the vehicle extracts. Just going to cost you a little bit of money. Now, the only sticky thing about this vehicle extract that you may want to keep in mind is that it takes a full minute to get out. So what you want to do is you only want to engage in extracting this way if you are 100% sure that you're safe. So make sure to check your surroundings. This is not the type of extract that you're in a gunfight, you're hurt, you think you're not going to win. You cannot just slip into this extract and hope to get out. You're going to be here for a minute. So I'm going to transfer the rubles, and there we go. 1 full minute. Now you can hide behind this little thingy, but anyone who knows you're here is going to be able to kill you, because this does not stop all caliber bullets, and it's very easy to just lob a nade back here and take you out that way. So don't try it as a quick means of extraction. This is where you're totally safe and you can just sit down, relax. You can open your bag, you can start counting your rubles, and just wait until you get out. And there you go, guys. Another Bearded Boomer certified way of making some money in Escape from Tarkov. The run I just showed you didn't have the most spectacular results, or didn't have the most spectacular loot, but that's also because I'm doing it in an offline raid, so it's very, very RNG, which it also is in real life runs. But trust me, consistently doing this run has made me several millions of rubles. Now, I'm going to add one thing to this, and it's probably not the most time effective way, because the map is pretty big, and going to your extracts, especially if vehicle extract isn't up, is going to take you some time. But the thing about it is a pretty safe way to make a bunch of money. And if you're a new player, speed is not going to be your main prerogative. It's going to be survival. It's going to be making money. There's a lot of people that will make you want to believe that you need to play Tarkov super fast and almost like it's Call of Duty. But trust me, as a new player, that's just not going to work. So play for safety, play for survival, play for making money. And it is a military simulation, so play it like you would probably play it if you were in that actual situation. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this guide. If this was helpful to you, please feel free to hit that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment down below if you have any comments or if you have any questions. If you want to come ask any of those questions, I also stream on Twitch 4 days a week on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, and then sometimes on Sundays as well. So feel free to drop in, come say hi, and we'd love to meet you over there as well. And for now, guys, hope you stay safe. Have a good time. See you all later. Bye-bye.